And we are live. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is you are in the world, and welcome to another edition of the Living World of Darkness, Big Apple Takedown. Our scene today is set on the Isle of Manhattan in the afternoon, early afternoon hours of Saturday. After a young woman by the name of Emma Cook has had herself a hell of a 45 minutes to an hour commute from Brooklyn to Manhattan for whatever reason she doesn't really know. Um, and as such, she looks a little worse for wear. She's had some excitement. She's had a bit of a tumble, and she doesn't even have a pair of shoes on.
So wait, she went all the way out. Rebecca lives in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever panicked before, Emma?
Okay.
You don't make the greatest choices when you panic. She doesn't know why she's out there. I don't know why she's out there. I
I,
picked the
I,
name.
I mean, she said Brooklyn in her text, so
Yeah, let.
Rebecca would have talked her back from if she sent an address that was fucking 45 minutes away. Rebecca would have been like, in Brooklyn. I should be like a couple blocks. Bitch, where are you going?
Probably the response would be hashtag I don't fucking know.
The reply would be stop. Text me your address right now, and I'll get there.
Okay, so then she's at some.
Let's say that rather than Manhattan, she's like however long it takes Rebecca to type really fast. Distance from her place.
Then she's at some park. I don't know Brooklyn that well. I know that there's parks along the Hudson River. Let's say that she's at one of those.
Okay.
Or the East River, I guess it is, because the Hudson's between Jersey and Manhattan. She's at the East River. Somewhere.
So Rebecca's fairly boring, nondescript, but quite familiar car. Pulls up. What time of night is it?
It's like, I'm going to say probably around 5 in the afternoon, maybe?
Okay. It pulls up and swings into a parking space. A little faster than Rebecca normally drives. And she's out almost before she's turned the car off. Looking around. Nervously.
Well, there's only one real person there that fits Emma's description, because everyone else is part of a family or part of a, um, I would say a group that has their shit together. People out there playing cornhole and grilling and frisbee and having all sorts of fun. Meanwhile, there's one person on a bench who's sort of rocking back and forth with a chimney, what looks like a chimney coming from the front of their head from behind.
Okay. Well, Rebecca goes walking quickly towards that person, towards the lone chimney. Emma?
And Emma's just kind of sitting there. She's kind of got that far off expression. Her fingers sort of trembling. And she's bringing a cigarette up to her mouth, and there's looks like there's about 8 or 9 cigarettes already kind of in various states of disrepair around her feet. And there's a pack that looks like it's about half empty. And yeah, she's just sitting there looking worse for wear. She's a little banged up. Like nothing looks like it's like bleeding profusely. She's got sort of a fat lip, and it looks like It's shaping up to be a bit of a shiner and scrapes across her arms and whatnot, and some red marks along like her forearms, and she looks like somebody who's jumped out of a window and hit the ground in probably not the most graceful of ways.
Rebecca's gonna kneel down in front of her and just be like, Emma? Hey, are you okay? Are you hurt?
You'll you'll have to define hurt.
Do you have any injuries I can't see?
Well, haven't gone to the bathroom yet, so I don't know if I'm pissing blood yet.
Well, let's get you home and
No, we don't ever need to go back there, ever. Mr. Bigglesby has now run of the place as he's always wanted.
how about you come to my house and tell me what happened?
Yeah, your place. It's fine. Good.
She's going to pick up the cigarettes, kind of gingerly make sure they're not hot before she drops them into her palm.
And that she's one of those considerate people that actually rubs out the ash or the cherry from the actual cigarette before she throws them on the ground.
Excellent. Half considerate people.
Also, fire safety minded as well.
Mm-hmm.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Mm-hmm. And littering.
Oh,
Rebecca's going to
nobody's
prevent the
perfect.
littering. So she picks up all those cigarette butts and then moves away to dump them in the nearest garbage can. Kind of dusts her hands off on her pants before she comes back and reaches out to offer her hand.
And Emma, as she finishes the one cigarette off, she'll mash it down against the bench, and she lights up another one and walks with puts her free hand in Rebecca's. And I mean, it's quaky.
Mm-hmm. She walks her to the car, and when they get to the car, she stops and holds out her other arm to kind of offer a hug.
And she on it. She just kind of she doesn't shy away. She just kind of has that look on her face,
Mm-hmm.
that unsure look.
Rebecca doesn't push it, but she does say, "You can't smoke in the car."
She'll nod and she'll puff down. What she can as they make their way to the car, and she'll just kind of flick the cigarette off to one end, and she'll exhale as she sits in the car.
Rebecca, without too much more conversation or ado, drives her home carefully at a much more reasonable pace than, well, reasonable is maybe not the word, at a much more Rebecca pace than she arrived.
Actually, on the way home, she's just gonna as they come to a stoplight and there's a bodega on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna start patting at like her pockets. I borrow $20.
You don't need it.
I jumped from a third-story window.
Alcohol's not going to do anything to fix that. She reaches back into her purse and pulls out a bill. Actually, she won't. She doesn't do that. She is there a parking lot? If there's a parking lot or some kind of place to pull over, she pulls over.
I'm sure that there's street parking.
Mm-hmm. And hands her $20.
And Emma gets out and walks into this store in her socks. And
Kind of leans forward and puts her head on the steering wheel and waits for her to get back.
And she comes back out with with just a single bag that doesn't look like it's too weighed down. Because $20 will get you, a decent bottle of whiskey, but probably not as much as she thinks she needs. But it's in a brown paper bag with the blue plastic bag on the outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets in and she puts on her seatbelt, and her fingers are just kind of tightly wrapped around sort of the neck of the bottle, with the bag sort of wrapped around it.
Rebecca starts the car back up and drives the rest of the way without saying anything. Once they get home, she pulls into the little garage in the alley, off the alley in the back. Oh man, wow. Sorry. My back is... I tried to move. Made it bad.
Careful.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Yeah, pulls into the little garage and turns off the car. Slides out. And comes around to open her door for her.
Emma takes a few breaths and then will get out. And she's still got a death grip on that bag. But once she's outside of the little garage area, she's going to step out into the alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she'll probably light up another cigarette and just stand out there for a while, just smoking it. She doesn't invite Rebecca out, but she definitely does not try to discourage her. She definitely stands to where her posture is open if Rebecca wants to engage her.
Mm-hmm. She'll stay out there with her. She tucks her keys in her pocket. What happened? Actually, you know what? She wouldn't ask that. She doesn't ask that. She just waits. She just kind of hangs out there and waits and lets the noise of the street and the traffic in New York just kind of wash over him for a while. She won't broach that topic yet.
Emma finally sort of finishes the cigarette. Wow, I don't even know where I'm going with that. The cigarette. She finishes that up and ashes it out, and then she takes the bud and just tosses it into one of the trash cans, which I'm sure Rebecca keeps inside the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't see her leaving trash out for the rats and raccoons to get to it until it's,
No.
trash night.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll sort of just look at Rebecca like she's ready to go inside.
She leads the way. Once inside, she starts making tea. She kind of eyeballs Emma as she sets out some bread and cheese. Bread first. She's not entirely sure she's gonna have any kind of an appetite, but in case she gets the nibbles, food appears.
Because Rebecca is best host. For now, Emma sticks to what she knows, and she takes the two bags and just kind of tosses them aside. Or no, she wouldn't toss them aside. She'd do that at home, not at Rebecca's house. She'll toss them into the trash can.
Mm-hmm.
and then she'll crack the top of the bottle open and you just drink from it straight. Something she doesn't normally do because she's not a fucking animal, but she doesn't have time to wait. In her, at least in her mind, she doesn't have time to wait for a glass and some ice.
Those will show up maybe a little too late, but before long, glass and ice appear. Or a glass with ice in it appears.
And Emma offers Rebecca kind of a smile at that. Not a great smile, but it's a smile, and she'll pour the the glass pretty much all the way up, and then set the bottle down. And she doesn't quite put the cap on it just yet, but she at least sets it far enough away from her that she's not grabbing at it.
Mm-hmm.
But when she picks up the glass, the glass jingles just because her hands are still shaking.
Once she's got the food and the tea and a glass for Emma, Rebecca comes around to sit next to her and curls her knees up, wraps her hands around the teacup. There's a cat in her lap in about 3 more seconds.
I can understand why somebody would forget her fucking birthday now. Fucking Jesus fucking Christ.
That, what happened?
Fucking girl Robin comes over, right? And she comes over and like, hey, you want a sandwich? And she's like, sure. And we start talking. And you know how people do, they play that cat and mouse game with each other. And
What cat and mouse game?
It can be fun.
What'd she say?
It can be fun.
What can be fun?
Cat and mouse.
Is that a board game?
That's enough to at least get probably the most sober response from her. She just kind of looks up and looks at Rebecca with just kind of this like, oh, look.
Rebecca doesn't look stupid. She doesn't look like she actually thinks cat and mouse is a board game. She's watching Emma kind of intently. Well, very intently. Worriedly. But she's pressing for details.
We were flirting, okay? And then she started getting kind of hostile about something. Like, I don't know. Kept saying, she had to worry about me, And it's like, what the fuck do you mean? And then finally I got pissed and frustrated. And and started yelling at her, and then all of a sudden it was just like she wasn't there anymore.
She
Fucking
disappeared.
no. Well, I don't know. She got furry. She got big. She fucking destroyed my coffee table and did probably the only sensible fucking thing a person can do in that situation, and that was jump out of a third story fucking window.
I'm so glad you're okay.
Relative term, but sure. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Rebecca knits her fingers together. Stares into her teacup.
Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do against that? It's like 9 feet tall.
Yeah,
She turned into a fucking bear.
that's what I've heard.
Yeah, well, I fucking got to see it. Fucking tearing shit up.
She just nods. She's trying to think hard and fast. For now, she just nods.
Jesus fucking Christ, can I fucking pick him? Or what?
You couldn't tell? You couldn't feel that off her?
I mean, there's something about her. I made my hair stand on end. Bit worse than any of the hard timers back at out of character. I can't remember if it's Sing Sing or Rikers. Back at the pen, but fuck.
She nods kind of slowly.
And she'll kick back the drink.
Well, I think I may have to call someone. I think it's probably best that you stay here. Lay low.
I got a busted phone. She'll hold her phone out, which now has a thoroughly cracked screen. Toss it onto the countertop. Got socks that now have holes in them. Sore as fuck on my right side. massive headache. I really wish I knew a pill guy. Fucking Jesus.
Well, the socks and the phone we can fix.
I want some Tylenol.
She nods, but she then nods towards the alcohol. I need you to be careful.
I don't think anything that's non-narcotic is going to interact too poorly with this. And it's not aspirin-based, so it's not going to be like a fucking blood thinner.
She nods and leaves her tea, heads upstairs, carrying the cat with her, and is left in the quiet, sunny kitchen, which is starting to darken as the sun goes down. And there's a couple cats, prowling around the kitchen, just kind of seeing what's up. But I'm guessing most of them leave Emma alone if she's in a state. Rebecca comes back downstairs very shortly, carrying a pair of socks and a pair of slippers and a bottle of Tylenol. And she sets them all down on the stool next to Emma.
Emma just kind of takes the socks and puts them in the back her back pocket of her pants and takes the bottle of Tylenol, pops out 2 pills, and then closes it back up, sets it up onto the countertop, pops them into her mouth, and then washes them down.
That was quick thinking, jumping out the window. Good job.
I wasn't really sure what else to do.
Well, seems like a good idea to me. How much do you know about werewolves?
Probably not as much as I fucking should have. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. I'm gonna take your phone to get fixed.
Send you off with my card, but my wallet and my keys, they're all sitting in there. Fucking clothes.
Do you have a landline?
Who the fuck has a landline in this day and age?
Rebecca coughs.
I don't make that kind of money.
That's legit. All right. Do you have a computer?
I have a laptop at home.
Is it logged on? Password protected?
Yeah. There's nothing on it. Nothing on it that's important.
It's password protected or it's logged on?
Password protected. I mostly use it to play
So, right, it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure she can't get to your email when she snaps out of it. She's gonna roll manip sub to not say, at least until she gets help. She has 4 successes. Everything's fine. It's probably fine.
Oh my God, is this one of those few instances where I can actually use my healthy skepticism merit?
She didn't lie.
Watching you. What's the living world darkness? Okay.
Christ Jesus, look at that roll. Unbelievable. Does she have a specialty?
Not yet, but you know, I'm
Wow.
starting to think maybe it's a good idea.
Wow. Dear dice gods, really? Why do you like them even more than me?
My time has come.
No fucking kidding. Yeah. Emma, who is on high alert, sees that little flicker that flashes over Rebecca's face of well, we're completely fuckered.
Have I ever told you what one of my pet peeves is, Rebecca?
One of your pet peeves. I think you've mentioned a couple.
She's gonna pour herself a new glass and drink about half of it almost instantaneously.
Have I ever told you what one of my pet peeves is?
She's gonna hold up the glass and point to it.
Mm-hmm. Funny enough.
You know, when really bad shit's going down and the other person doesn't say anything about how fucked they actually are. Because realistically and artistically and thematically and every real life and pop culture sort of situation, it's always, you know, the situation where, man, if you had just said something before, I wouldn't be freaking out as bad right now. Or I wouldn't feel betrayed or this, that, or the other. So if you're hiding something to protect me, or to make me feel better right now, considering the topic of conversation that set that fucking monster off, please don't. Just be upfront with me.
What was the topic of some conversation that set that fucking monster off?
If you're not safe around me, people get hurt. I thought she was speaking more in a metaphor, or, you
Did
know,
you?
I've known people who were tangled up in shit. I'm fucking tangled up in shit. Yeah, I don't, you know, I guess since we're going full disclosure, I'm like almost $100,000 in debt to some really unsavory people. Because the person that they were actually owed to flew the fucking coop, and guess who? Guess who got saddled with that? And she's gonna stand up and she's gonna start walking around, and you know that maniacal, like, this is my life now kind of laughter, like when you just like, well, I'm screwed. That's the kind of laugh she's kind of got going on, like, of course this is my life right now. And she's pacing back and forth, artfully holding that glass though.
Rebecca picks up her mug and sips at her tea. What did she say to you?
She was like, people get hurt around me and you don't know. And, you know, thinking, hey, fucking maybe Khan here, you know, somebody else who's been involved in some shit. I don't know. You know, why would you willingly live with a police officer if you weren't, you know, married to them? Or sleeping with them? I don't know. She just kind of holds up her hands like, you know, thought it was something I could handle. Thought it was like, you know, give me some fucking credit. Maybe got a little bit hyper competitive there. You know me. You've known me long enough. You know how I am. Oh, wow, that backfired so quickly. In such a really intense and in your face and oh my god, please stop, it hurts way.
And that certainly doesn't sound like a very romantic conversation.
It started off pleasant, Rebecca. It really did. You know, it was that kind of thing like, oh, you think you can read me? I think I can read you. Well, why don't you try with that whole, you know, inviting inflection and whatnot, and then fucking turn on a 180. Well, I don't know, when she felt like there was a spark there. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we will have to find some way to clean it up. I think hiding is the best idea for now.
Well, who are you gonna call?
I haven't decided yet.
Do you have a list? An idea?
I do.
And I take it that leaving it at I do?
Sorry, what did you say?
She says, I take it that leaving it at I do. And she's just kind of leaving it open, sort of, for Rebecca to insert whatever she wants there.
I'm still thinking it through. The problem is that werewolves are very protective of their secrets.
Well, if they got one out there that's that fucking unstable,
Then,
probably not a great idea for them to have their people out and about, you know?
is that it then?
You mean,
She's no longer a person to you.
she tried to fucking kill me. I don't know how personally or unpersonally you would take that, Rebecca, but I'm having a real, real difficult time. Um, Seeing her as anything but like those trees. Trees under normal circumstances don't hurt people, but when they do, what have we done to them? People, generally speaking, don't turn into 8-foot tall bears at the random and start tearing up people's shit trying to get to you. I really like that coffee table.
Rebecca's teacup hits the counter rather harder than she meant to set it down.
Emma will kind of stop in her pace and look over at Rebecca.
She stands up and just kind of stands there for a second, sets the cat down, and then she picks up her teacup and goes back to the kettle.
I need to roll Emma's power here. And win, lose, or draw, Emma, I want you to know that I love you.
It's okay. Is she about to turn into a werewolf?
No, well, potentially as close as Emma can get to, you know. Initial meeting, Emma, possibly. She's able to take a breath. She is able to take a breath. And she'll kind of lean against the counter, sort of legs far out behind her, and elbows on the countertop with her head kind of resting on the rim of the glass. You don't view it that way, do you?
I'm not a judge. That isn't my role. I've met the girl in question. She was a very nice young lady. She made me very uncomfortable. I was paying a great deal of attention. And knew that she made me very uncomfortable. I wasn't pretending that everything is fine. Not to myself. To everyone else, but not to myself, when someone makes me very uncomfortable. I notice. I might have to kill her now. When she's angry, she's 9 feet tall, with fangs and claws. I'm very, very good friends with her cousin. I've got quite a lot to think about.
And what's the cousin's deal?
He's certainly not going to like it if his cousin is dead. He will certainly investigate that particular death for all time until he has an answer.
Is he
You're
one of them?
right. She holds up a hand and says, "You're right. It is not a reasonable response when someone starts yelling at you to turn 9 feet tall and try to kill them. You are absolutely right." She is obviously a menace.
I'd like to roll a P&E on our friend here.
Okay.
6. Let's call the number today. 2 successes.
It doesn't look like she's trying to hide anything. She looks, probably more vulnerable than Emma's ever seen her. She's beyond the point of trying to hide anything. Her face is creased in ways that Emma's probably never seen it before, and Emma has seen her deal with some pretty big stress.
I guess the thing that Emma was specifically trying to read her on was, is Rebecca in any way trying to lead her?
To lead her?
Um, so in Emma's head, is Rebecca trying to say, uh, are you sure that you're right? Because if you're right about this, it could mean that we have to kill her, that sort of thing.
No, it doesn't seem like she's trying to lead her. Rebecca seems completely sincere in what she's saying.
Okay.
She sounds like she's trying to think it through. She looks like she's basically thinking so hard she doesn't have time to play games, if that makes sense.
Okay. Emma's going to take a breath and she'll finish off what's in her glass and she'll pour just a very small amount. And she'll actually walk across the kitchen and just offer the glass to her. Not the greatest olive branch, but Emma doesn't really know what else to do right now, just to kind of show, like, I realize this is stressful for you too. It's like written across her face at this point.
Okay, Becca's gonna roll that. She does a great job. She takes a look at the glass and then pushes it away with one hand. Her face is completely blank. Like she's had that just completely twisted look on her face. Been completely absorbed in her thoughts, and all of a sudden it just disappears. All of that expression just goes. And she pushes the glass away. No, thank you.
Emma's going to sigh and she'll polish off what's left in the glass. And does Rebecca have like a shoe rack by the door?
She has a little basket for shoes, yeah.
Are shoes in it?
Hmm?
Are there shoes in it?
Mm-hmm. There's also slippers on the chair.
She's going to she doesn't want to ruin slippers. She's going to find like just a pair of shoes that are reasonably comparable to the size that she normally wears,
Mhm.
and
And
maybe
it's
like
not like there's like everybody's shoes in there. There's Rebecca's shoes in there.
she have a pair of running shoes.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's just going to pick those up. You don't mind, do you?
If you borrow my shoes, no.
Listen, you've got a lot to think about, and if what you say is true about me lying low, then probably being shacked up here with you puts you in the line of fire, right?
No.
I'm not willing to take that risk.
No. And I don't want you going anywhere else. If there's one chance that I have to keep you alive, there will be one chance exactly.
And what's that supposed to mean? One
Indeed.
chance that what? If I walk out that door, is that it?
No. I'm not threatening you, Emma. I'm telling you I can't play games.
And I'm not. I've got people. They're not the most savory of people. They get up to some things, but they're loyal.
Do they know what to do about werewolves? No, they don't.
No, they don't. But they're good at not being seen. I can probably. I can either visit my friend Ella or my friend Mr. Oakes. Mr. Oakes can get me out of the city if I need to be. He's got places up north. And Ella literally blends in with the city that
I think you should stay here. I can't do anything to protect you if you go anywhere else. And my one rule is still live through this.
I don't intend on breaking that. It's just you're right now between two places you don't want to be. One of your charges, so to speak.
Friends, I think is the word you're looking for.
Your friendly charges. People that you take care of, okay? People you like that you take care of. Is that fair?
One of my friends is the word you're looking for.
Sorry. You're between one of your friends that is on one side of the fence and one of your friends that is on the other, right?
No. A friend of mine and a girl that I met briefly got into a fight. One of them became enraged and tried to do serious damage to the other. One of these people, whatever happened, is now a victim of domestic violence.
Emma's gonna just kind of hold a hand up.
She reaches out, grabs the hand, and pushes it down. The other one has a powerful family and intends to cover up that domestic violence. I'm not an enemy of yours. I'm not playing games with you. I don't know how to fix it yet, but the further away you get from me, the harder it gets.
How clear of a head are you gonna have if I'm here? Knowing who I am, how I am.
That's a bullshit argument. My head won't be any clearer if you're far away. At least here I can step on your foot if you start saying something stupid. You know how you are. Don't be that way. You do your best, I'll do my best. But my best isn't going to be better if you're not here.
I, at the very least, need to go and talk to Ella and get some cash. Like, these shoes are nice and all, but they're not comfortable. I don't know how you manage to run in them.
I don't wear them to the gym. They're mostly for watering the lawn. I'll loan you some cash. I mean it about staying low. You don't want to go out there looking like someone beat you up.
Definitely no one beat me up. The ground did that.
You look like you fell down the stairs.
That's one way to put it.
I believe that's traditional for this sort of situation.
Yeah, but this time it's not really being said as a cover so much as it's actually what happened. Except, pavement.
My point is not discreet. You can't run away from this.
I tell you right now that if it looks like you're going to be hurt trying to, I don't know,
Sorry, you cut
mediate.
out. You said I'm
No,
going to tell you?
I'm going to tell you that if you try to mediate and it looks like you're getting hurt, I'm a ghost. I'm fucking gone. I don't know for how long, but I'm not putting you, Zach, or Ethan, or Remy into this, into the line of fire if it comes to that. You know that, right?
Will you let me work?
I will,
It's
but I
only
need...
harder the more you... What did you say?
If things hit the fan, I need to know that I can walk away.
Walk away from what? From the possibility of an angry werewolf herd, pack. I don't know what werewolves call themselves. Family.
Cornucopia? Infestation? I don't know. Fuck.
The point is, walk away from the fact that they know that you know something that you shouldn't.
I'm not putting a target on your back. Just by being here. By virtue of being here.
The target on my back is going to come from trying to kill a young woman that I had dinner with. That's the target on my back, not you staying here.
Why don't you call Ethan in on this and see what he thinks?
About you staying here?
About whether or not you actually need to put a bullet in her head or whatever the case may be.
I will, long before I put any bullets in anyone's head. I don't go flying off the rails. I'm going to deal with this. In a sensible fashion. And God help me, I would really appreciate it if you didn't make it harder.
Not exactly my strong suit, Rebecca, but I'll try.
Good.
I need clothes.
I know you don't have anything here.
Yeah.
You don't need them immediately. I can loan you some clothes. Throw what you've got in the wash.
Just no blouses,
What do you
please.
think you need? What you think you need is to get away. Let's be honest. You're gonna keep listing things to yourself that you don't have here. And all of them are really named escape.
Well, let me put it to you this way. If I run out on you, about the only person right now that really gives too much about me right now. Anything about me. Maybe Ella.
And I'm pretty sure your first impulse is still to run away.
I'm gonna go. You're gonna loan me some cash and go to a Penny's or something and pick up some clothes. And I will be back.
I get overnight clothes from Amazon for you. What you really want is to go for a walk, to get out of here. Am I wrong?
Well, you're not completely wrong, but yeah. A breath would be nice.
And to stock up on the alcohol.
Listen, if you want me to stay here, that's something that we're going to have to compromise on. All right?
Don't tell me you're going to get clothes when you're going to get booze. That I won't compromise on.
I'm actually was going to get some clothes. I'm almost terrified of what your wardrobe looks like compared to mine.
Not that big.
That's not what I mean. She kind of just like does like the hand gesture. You generally dress a lot nicer than I do.
I really think you should wait to go shopping until your shiner's cleared up. She goes to her purse and kind of like she opens it and just kind of grimaces because she doesn't normally keep that much cash on her. She's like, I've got $30. That's
Oh, did she say that out loud?
yeah.
Okay.
Go for a walk. Come back. Take a bath. We'll figure out your clothes in the morning. I think you'll survive in my pajamas.
She'll nod. Look, this is not things that I'm good at, all right? But I do appreciate it. And sorry that I'm putting this on your front door.
That's what it's there for. The sign on the front says danger.
Rebecca's got an open air backyard, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Your Amazon account on your signed in on your laptop.
She gives her a look like, what?
she just kind of looks up like, is your Amazon account logged in on your laptop?
No, I don't just leave it logged in.
You enter your password in every time?
Yes. Yes, I do.
On the other side of the city, somebody's just warm and happy and doesn't know why.
Rebecca steps on cockroaches until that goes away. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'll handle my own booze, okay? You have a aversion to that, and you shouldn't have to pay for it beyond what you've already done for.
God.
Listen, I'm trying to meet you halfway here, okay? I don't know how to do the whole thankful thing well. It's
You don't
easier.
need to. It's fine.
I just realized something.
What's that?
That's an out of character thing.
Hmm.
um,
What was that?
it's her wits roll. Something really important that she definitely left behind.
Hmm.
But she doesn't remember it right now. Or wait, she'll know. She has eidetic memory. What the hell am I doing? Okay, so this is why I put it on my overlay. She kind of just stops cold for a minute. And on an out of character level, I want you to know that I don't like what I'm about to do.
Oh boy.
Uh, 8, because she's got the Great Liar merit. Oh, fuck you. Damn it, Dice Gods. Why are
Mm-hmm.
you like this?
Mm-hmm.
That's not fair at all.
What did she say?
I'm gonna go for that walk.
Rebecca's starting to nod. It's kind of a nod and a shake of her head at the same time. And then she stops and she looks at Emma.
Emma looks really suddenly just with 5 successes to her 1. She looks pale. She looks like she's had an epiphany. And she really looks like she.
I'll be right back. One
Oh,
second.
okay. Oh.
Sorry about that.
You all right?
Yeah, sorry. There's a knock on my door. They
Okay.
were trying to deliver something to the guy next door.
Huh.
Sorry, no, I'll explain later.
Hope
There's
your back
two
is
apartment twos.
okay. So yeah, Pale Epiphany, and she really doesn't like what she's about to do, or the fact that she's clearly lying about it. As she starts to walk towards the door.
Rebecca walks past her, like
Mm-hmm.
literally walks like faster than she is to the door, and puts a hand on it, and then like slides between her and the door and crosses her arms over her chest. Emma? Oh, fuck me. Sorry. She doesn't say that.
You got that look like you're about ready to use my last name.
And your middle. Is there something I should know?
She's like really, really deciding whether or not she wants to say anything or not. And she finally just kind of like lets out just like this half defeated sigh, just like my picture.
You're gonna have to go back there anyway. Not now. Not now. But part of the recovery process from this is going to have to involve you going back and getting the things that you need. And finding out whether they're watching the place. But not right now.
Like I really need that picture.
You don't. It is not more important than your life. It is not more important than my life.
For the briefest of moments, her hand like grabs a hold of the doorknob if she can, but and it crosses her face like she's thinking about just trying to get past you.
Rebecca lets her grab the doorknob, but she doesn't take her hand off the door. She's still like literally holding it closed.
And she's need a little willpower again. She's not going to show that to you if she can avoid it. She's holding it together. Maybe not well, but she's not.
I've been very patient. Please don't test me. I will get angry if you try to go out this door.
She lets go of the door. She takes a few steps back. And there's just a look of like she's angry. Yeah, I think there's just anger there. And she kind of walks away from the door, back into the kitchen and grabs a bottle and goes out onto the. She got like a lanai, I think.
A what?
You know the picture that you put up of like Rebecca's chicken. Chicken.
Oh, chicken.
Your kitchen. And you know how there's like that patio or whatever it is? I think it's either a lanai or just like a breakfast nook or whatever. I don't know.
Sure,
But
I've never heard the word lanai before. That's new.
Yeah. But she walks out there, and she just kind of, if it has doors, she's gonna shut them.
Okay.
And she's gonna go sit on a chair out there, and she's just gonna scream. And it's not like blood curdling. It's not horror queen. It's just impotent rage.
I mean, it's just glass. It's probably the loudest, like the most carrying place in the house. In this entire brick building. She starts to scream. Rebecca literally comes running. And it's like, stop it. Emma Cook, you stop it.
She has no response for that.
Is she still screaming?
No, I mean, she stops.
Okay.
But it's, she's...
You are hurt. You are scared. You are in danger. You're frustrated. I understand. You need to do better right now. You can. And you need to right now. This is not the last time you're going to be hurt and scared. This is not the last time your life is going to be in danger. And other people are going to be risking their lives for you. You have and you will risk your lives for other people. But you have to start learning how to deal with it right now.
Her like heart pounding in her chest. She's just kind of. She looks up and she's like on the verge of those angry tears.
You made a mistake, and someone's probably going to die. It's not your fault, but that's what's going to happen. The price that you're going to have to pay is going to have to be in learning how to deal with things better. And it hurts. I'm here if you need a hug. I have pillows to scream into. But you've got to stop being reckless. You have to start thinking ahead. She's going to open her arms and offer a hug. It doesn't look like a soft hug. Like, it doesn't look like, here's the soft, fluffy thing. It's like, here's something to hold on to. The muscles in her arms are knotted into, like, cords.
She'll stand up and she'll walk up to Rebecca, and I mean, at this point, she's probably even sweating a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're probably both just pouring sweat. It's so hot out.
It's been a rough day.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of goes in for that rough embrace. She's not
Mm-hmm.
trying to hurt Emma or hurt Rebecca, but it's just one of those things that, like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
angry at 1,000 things, and you're like nine on the scale of 1 to 1,000, or you're
I'm
like
at least
999.
999.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't have anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she goes into the brace really rough, and I mean she's shaking.
Mm-hmm. Rebecca's probably shaking too, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when Emma hugs her, she wraps her arms around her and squeezes her pretty tight. She's pretty mad. She's pretty upset.
But I don't think there's a willpower roll out there that's just going to be able to keep her from. She just starts to, she's shaking, she's squeezing, and she's gritting her teeth, and she's trying to growl, and that growl becomes more and more and more of an effort, and in that effort, it just becomes more and more pitiful.
Mm-hmm.
And just finally, she, knowing whose arms, who's holding her and whatnot, and knows, that that's not going anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
That's when, she just breaks down.
Mm-hmm.
And she just kind of goes as limp as possible without, like, taking them both down to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a big ball of,
Ball of balling.
yeah, a big ball of a ball. It's a big bit of rage without being backed by a celestial being.
Mm-hmm.
So she's at, like, maybe a 0.25 of a rage point right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it goes from that, just, that breakdown to just an ugly, ugly cry.
Mm-hmm. Rebecca's just gonna hold her, let her cry it out. She doesn't feel like a soft thing this time. She feels like some kind of tree.
Maybe poor choice of words, out of character.
Oh no! Oh no! Awful. You're right. Maybe not some kind of a tree. Well, she probably feels like some kind of a tree, but it's a good tree. Like, it's not like killing people and eating birds tree. It's a nice tree.
It's an evergreen, definitely an evergreen, not an oak.
Oh, I like oaks. I'm sad it was an oak.
I know it was an oak. um, but she finally just gets to the point where she has to, like find a seat on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's got a little lounger out there, like that couch thing.
It's just a dining. It's a dining room. There's just a dining room table. But
Oh.
when she starts to feel Emma's knees kind of go shaky, she's just gonna pull her inside.
And if she gets deposited on that couch,
Mm-hmm.
she sits there for a minute, and she's like hunched over forward, and she's just got her hands in her head. And it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going until finally she sort of like just lays over and curls up into a fetal position and just After maybe a good 20 minutes, she can't keep it up anymore. And she just kind of lays there, just breathing and staring into just space.
Rebecca will have sat down and curled up next to her, tucked her legs under herself, and just kind of gotten comfortable. And just be sitting there kind of stroking her hair, letting her cry it out. She just stays there, petting her head gently.
And it doesn't take too much of that to eventually just, for everything to catch up with her. She's out. And probably the most peaceful she's going to be for quite a few days from here on out.
That's fair.
And I'm sure Rebecca will probably use this reprieve to its fullest.
She probably just sits there for a long time staring at the girl on the couch and trying to figure out what the fuck she's going to do next.
And I think that's probably a good place to call it there. Yep. So thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And thank you all for tuning in to a very special episode of Big Apple Takedown. Thank you and good night.